okay, maybe just because I didn't have a cup of coffee this morning.
So smooth FM management.
Maybe not.
All right, we'll sort that out.
The
So
producer,
now we know
please.
you need that caffeine to get going.
I think
Get
so.
going. Okay.
Plus, I didn't have enough sleep actually. So
Oh.
Please, what were you doing?
I was just up.
You're a married man. Let it go. Anyway.
Oh, wow. Moving on.
All right, moving on to the business of the day. We love it when you are a part of the conversation, so let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 You can also tweet at Smooth981 and catch the live stream up on our YouTube as well. It's Smooth981, and you can post a comment on there. Okay, so I think it might have been last week where Davido went on a bit of a social media cleanse and he deleted a lot of things off his profile. And I remember saying when that happens, a lot of Western artists do it when they're about to drop something. And apparently it does seem
right.
like, yes, I see into the future. I see some money in your future, Oris, once you walk out the door.
Amen.
James, I see some coffee in your life once you walk out the studio.
Why coffee? I don't. No.
James looking for money, please. It's like,
Please,
please, let's hide the coffee. Give us some money.
Okay, but yeah, great news.
Yeah. I mean, he has a new album to show up at the end of this month. I think it's great news for everybody concerned, because I even think for him, he probably, of course, everybody knows what happened last year in his personal life. So I think that maybe this is, I think he's killing two birds with a stone. By releasing this album, he's saying, you know what, maybe it is time my fans got something, but I think it's also a way for him to move on too. Although I don't think you can ever really move on from the tragedy that happened last year. But I think in terms of like just saying, okay, life goes on. This is kind of how he's going about it. So I think it's quite, to be honest, on the one hand, I think it's a very decent personal strategy. But I also think it's also a very good one business-wise, to come out and, you're like, okay, this is a fresh start in some way. And so the album is going to commemorate what happened last year, and also establish the fact that, okay, we're also moving on from that. So yeah, I think it's good overall.
I go with Oris because he went through a very, very difficult, last year was just, it's crazy for David, and people have been waiting and expecting, anticipating what next. Like, what's he going to say? Should we expect another record? I think somehow, some way he managed to pull off the FIFA and walk up from
I think that's one of the few appearances.
Or
maybe as well as I think his uncle's inauguration. Those are, I think, two major things it was.
So coming up with this right now, I don't know if this is David's 11th year. I think last year was the 10th anniversary of him. Yeah, last year was 10th. Yeah, so this is the 11th one. So it's been fingers crossed. Actually, we were expecting something, like he was supposed to do something last year and stuff. I don't know. So, well, because of the whole thing that happened, I don't think. I mean, clearly he didn't have to. So, but this time around, the title of the album is timeless, according to him. I like the introduction, or the way the
video.
Yeah, like the video and the the spoken word, the way so we're anticipating, because there's no single, I don't think there's any official single from that particular record. So he's just going to drop an album all the way, and I want to believe that for David, he would have shot a couple of videos. He might drop the album and the single and the video as well. So it's just fingers crossed. I'm also expecting something more. I mean, if you use the word or the title timeless for an album, it has to correlate. It has to that's a strong title for an album. So we want to, timeless can be evergreen. That you see. Exactly. So I'm thinking, is it changing direction? Is the music going to be different? Will be addressing a few things with the album? Right. So it's coming from a place of, we are really, really anticipating, want to we've not heard from David in a while, so let's see. I'm rooting for him as well. I mean, but right now the song is already queued. Whether it's been submitted, it's going to be released on 31st, so there's no going back from it. So shout out to him.
Is there any chance at all that we can judge this album? Do you think that that's a possible? I mean, I'm saying, you get what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like in terms of
everything
that
Should
has
we-
happened, yes, that.
So I'm thinking that you mean should we judge the album or
I think it's just anyone.
I'm almost saying, can we? Like, is it even? I don't know, man. It just feels like there is a, what's the word? The politics in quotes surrounding the album.
Right.
Emotional
kind
politics.
of
Emotional
yes,
politics.
exactly.
Perfect.
Surrounding the album. Kind of puts it a little bit. It looks. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe a little bit beyond the reach of criticism. So I wonder about that. I wonder that if this is not, sonically speaking, lyrically speaking, not a very good Davido album, if anybody will be bold enough to say that publicly.
I mean, it would take someone with guts of steel to do that.
I mean, Oris is just talking because Oris will tell you how it feels.
I'm preparing the grounds for what is inevitable about
Oris, please.
I'm just saying, that can we do that? Is it going to be acceptable to say, what?
Professionally,
Maybe this is.
when you have a body of work, it
Yeah.
should be. But just the emotional politics is just.
It's just a lot.
I'm even scared to think it or say it.
Right? But I listening to the just the collage of sounds on the video he
Right.
released. It appears that there are still party songs on this album actually.
Mm.
So in my head, that is probably the one escape route people like me would have, in the sense that, okay, here's the thing. This is not an album that is maybe melancholy. I mean, I don't know yet. We would have to find out, But I'm believing that if it's an album that has a couple of hit records, as Davido is known for, that would probably be hit records. I mean, like party songs, maybe not songs like what's the last one he did, Stand Strong. The more songs like Aye from back in the day, from Davido, if there are more songs in that genre, that subgenre, it feels like maybe then we are kind of free to say what we think, But I'm sure that there might be songs that
At
are
least
specifically,
one.
yes,
There would
yes,
have
there
to
might
be
be
at
one,
least
exactly, that addresses, or in some way, maybe opaquely, indirectly or directly, addresses stuff that has happened over the past year, and so maybe those ones will probably be out of our reach of criticism. So
This is like the Eric Clapton Tears in
Tears
Heaven.
in Heaven. But that was a very good song. Yeah, but that was a very good song.
It was
That a very
actually.
good song.
It
I think
really
it was song
was.
of the year actually that year. So yeah.
Wow. All right, so let's move on to our next story, and this one has to do with Nollywood headed to court. I mean, it's election season, so whenever we hear court cases, we're thinking politicians are going to court, but Nollywood is taking Nollywood to court. Now, Anne Njemanze, who is a popular Nollywood actress from back in the day, has served Zabe Ejuru, who is also like
popular director from back in the day.
Exactly, and they worked together on a movie called Domitila years ago.
If
96.
you are less than 25, I don't expect this to
concern
you.
Yes, but that movie was iconic.
It is
and
iconic.
The name even more iconic.
Exactly.
And so Anne Njemanze trademarks the name Domitila. She played the role of Domitila in the movie, and Zabe Ejiro is working on a remake, and Anne says, "Run me my check, 50 million naira."
So
Oris,
okay, go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Look, Frank, to be entirely frank about this, Anne Njemanze has absolutely no right to do anything. That's my belief about this. If anybody had seen, I mean, you don't have to have seen the film actually. Just the details are quite clear. A person called Zibby produces and directs a film. The lead actress of the film is Anne Njemanze. Of course, it's like 98 or there, but it's a long time ago.
I think it was 96, I believe.
96?
Yes, might have been 96.
All right, maybe you're right actually. So the film becomes super. Actually, you're right. Because I just realized actually I left Lagos in 1996 and I've seen nothing before then. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, the film becomes popular, and frankly, if you read the notes of the entire case, I only registered that thing like
2020. Yes.
A film that was in the 90s, you already started by 2020. And I think there's something about like common use. The guy has used this stuff before. How are you claiming you were just the actress? And I have it on good information, by the way, that she wasn't even like the actress that was supposed to be used, as a matter of fact, back in the day.
She was used.
She was no. I'm not
cast,
of course she was. But there is but there are even stories around this that have happened before, by the way.
Oh.
There was a case, not very public, maybe like this one is becoming, with I think it was Inkem War.
Okay.
If anybody knew Nollywood in the 90s, he had this one iconic character called Osofia. So there's a time when he too wanted to.
Is that when he traveled overseas?
So there's a time where he wanted to what's the word now? Claim rights to it.
To the name.
And I don't know if he ever went into trial, but in any case, he did lose that case.
Okay.
But I think maybe what he didn't do was maybe trademark it the way Anne has done. But whatever the case is, I think everybody knows the 90s came before 2020. So I'm not entirely sure how she wants to get away with this. And I hear, and just industry stories.
The grapevine.
Exactly, yes. That I think Zeb has actually countersued. So let's just say it's going to be messy. Although this is something that really, really, really should have been solved within, just call someone and say, you know what, I want to do this. You know what, don't do this. But this is, by the way, this is all internal gist, by the way. Like it looks as though Zeb has been thinking about this for a while.
And she may have gotten wind of it?
Yes, there's a slight chance that is not exactly what had happened, that she had gotten wind of what he wanted to do. Of course, cashing in. We are in the series, we are in the era of remakes, you get? So I guess
some terrible remakes, I might add.
Yeah, so to kind of, this, like, in my own view, maybe like a preemptive move by her to kind of see what she can get from the project. But
now, legally though, you can trademark a name.
Yeah, you can. But if it's already in common use, and people are already, somebody has done something as public and as popular as Domitila. I don't think anybody who was of age in the 90s is not aware of that film.
Right.
And we all knew it was Zeb. So I'm just like, how do you want to get away with this?
That is true. Because if he wrote that script and he produced the movie, he basically created the character.
The man owns the thing. There's really no nothing to contest here.
So I don't even think you know, I'm not taking her seriously because she's asking for 50 million.
No, but I think is it 50 million?
Yeah, she's asking for
50 million. So let's say technically 55 because she's also asking that
legal costs.
Legal costs, yeah. But I'm assuming this is probably not what she would have asked for in-house, so to speak. You get?
If they had a conversation behind the scenes, right?
I'm not sure this way. So it's because it's people inflate things when it gets to this level. Like, you know what? Let me cash in. But I don't think there's anything to cash in here, frankly.
From some of the notes in the story as well, Mr. Ejiro talks about how she was very, in his words, unprofessional, coming with the police to raid offices and things like that.
Closes office.
So, very interesting.
So should we assume that this is coming from a place of, when you think about the success of the Domitila back in the days and the industry generally, and how a lot of the actors did not make anything from the popular movies that we, had back in the day, because then I think the procedure was, you shoot the movie, the marketers actually maybe sponsor, and then they do the marketing, you split with the executive producers, because Davido was pretty much the director. I don't know if he was the executive producer or
you're right. Back in the day, somebody used to bring, it's still the way it works today, to be honest. Somebody brings in money, the producer says, okay, you know what, this is what is going to be done. But I think Zeb actually has both directing and producer credits on the original thing. So there's no how you want to spin this story. It is his, because when what's his name, Charles Opaleke, the producer who wants to do a remake now, was looking for someone to talk to about it. It was Zeb he spoke to. So it was clear that, you know what, this is the person who owns the rights, and Zeb is still involved in this one as a producer as well. So just don't, like I said, look, this case honestly should just be taken and thrown into the evil forest. That's exactly what should happen.
And then sometimes maybe they just need to talk, just have that conversation, because I don't think it's that deep. I mean,
I know, but it's that deep. It's become that deep. If she had to get police officers to come and close down his offices, I think that yes, at that stage we can't. Yeah.
So when I say it's not that deep,
it's deep now.
I'm saying that it shouldn't be that. It's like this somebody you worked with in the past. Like how upset, I don't want to just say angry,
when money is involved, when it's business gone bad, we've seen family members fall out, and we're going to talk about the
this is not business now. You were employed to, I don't know,
play a role, right?
It ain't just, I don't know, so something goes to my head, wait, you were paid to do this. Now you are claiming rights to what
So,
you were paid to do
Oris,
that was created before you showed
so
up.
if you're claiming, I mean, you copyrighted or what's it called? You trademarked the name Domitilla. Does that mean we should not use Domitilla as?
Well,
so
if you're going to use it for commercial enterprises, then it means pay me because I now own the rights.
Are Domitilla, and so which is what he's saying.
I don't know if there's anyone actually called Domitilla.
Oh no, there is, by the way, and that's the story. The story, Zeb's story, is pretty much that at the time when the film was being done, I think there was somebody called Domitilla Oleka.
Oh,
who was, I think, the guy secretary or somebody working in the
office. Right. I remember that name now.
Yes, you do, right?
Yes, Domitilla Oleka.
All of us 90s kids.
90s kids.
Unite.
So somebody's name. Do you understand?
Yes.
So and when you now trademark, because even with a lot of even internationally, I know Kim Kardashian trademarked
kimono, right?
Do you understand? No, not kimono.
There was a huge.
There was something.
She was trying to trademark kimono.
It was
a
kimono.
problem.
Yeah,
The Japanese were not
some
having it.
Japanese company pulled her up, and then I don't know if she trademarked Kim Kardashian or
Kylie, her
something.
sister, was trying to trademark the name Kylie, and then there's of course the international star called
So
Kylie. And
there
she's
are-
like, what are you doing?
There are different this situations.
I should
where,
trademark
you know,
Zibby.
Try, exactly. Let's see if you
Do you
try.
understand? So, but even at that, you now
Are you
want to
saying that?
trademark it.
Okay, that's.
That I'm just feeling
anymore.
like
They can't
trademarking
use
the
it
name.
No,
if
they
they're
can't
going
use
to
it for commercial
commercial
use.
use.
They're not
Yes,
supposed to
yes.
trademark. I don't know if it should have been easy to trademark a name that a lot of people have that name, or if you look, and then you now trademark it and just keep it and say okay, just in case. Which is why I agree that it would have been she must have gotten a wind of the information that this is coming up, and then nobody's asking us. I mean, you can't play that role. Do you understand? Right now, what exactly would you have wanted? Maybe if you had say Baba,
sit at the table and negotiate.
they could have consulted me for the
But it's
character.
also
or whatever.
possible.
No, they did. I heard they did. I heard they did.
Wow,
Like,
Oris has a lot of
industry
information.
is-
Are you the legal counsel on this case?
I'm in Hollywood guy now.
That is true.
Exactly. So yeah, so I have this. Yes, apparently it looks like she was. So,
Okay. Tayo says Cardi B trademarking failed. I don't see it being a success. Trademark application started in 2020. Can't be approved till now. Okay, we're talking about Cardi or Anin Jumanze. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. This is The Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. Excuse me?
Because the vibe is giving beef vibes, like major beef vibes. Like they probably had unfinished business in the
Back in
past.
the day, no, just
that she's
speak
pissed about.
more like off air because I think what exactly happened. I think from like I said, industry perspective at the time, Charles. So this is we are just hearing about it now.
Yes.
But actually, the whole idea of that in a remake of Domitilla has been in the world for years actually for quite a while. Of course, a lot of people who had hits in the 90s are really thinking about bringing back some of the things they've done. So this conversation started a long time ago. So I heard that actually Zeb at some point has come to meet her like, okay, let's have, you know how they do it, let's do like this Spider-Man, like a cameo.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was something that was discussed. But I hear again, I'm saying it's very loose, so nobody hears me on YouTube so much. But I heard that she was asking for an exorbitant sum for the yes, and so of course Zeb is like, what's gonna happen? So I'll go my way. So it looks like sometime between that discussion and where we are at when it became public, she took the whatever to go and trademark it. That's how we got to this position.
Well, you're right, though. It will be thrown out.
It should be from the yes.
Because, I mean, you didn't create the character.
Yes.
Like,
The man
You
has
hold your
the
past.
film is
It's
there,
okay.
everything is there.
What is your problem, Gogo?
You know,
Say
it's
that
on
you-
YouTube. You know, so all the credits are quite
oh, the
And
movie's
then
on
it's coming out
YouTube.
on
Actually,
the
go
7th.
look at
it
it.
is. You
It's
know,
coming
this
out on the 7th of
the
April.
late Ada Ahmed was in the film now.
They just better do a good job because a lot of these remakes are really horrible.
There's only one that's been good.
You're listening to The Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. It's Zibby, James, and Oris.
Yeah.
That was such a low year, James.
No. I do want to interrupt. So
Oh, okay.
could have been yeah.
I think the guys on YouTube are the ones who are benefiting more from
from the conversation. Actually,
that is true.
you need to.
You can catch the live stream, and yes, we have some behind the mics conversations on the live stream that you can catch
Always
as
has
well.
spilling major tea.
He has.
Please. People should leave my shirt, please. Let them not come and drag me. You are coming to give them industry gist.
Okay, now speaking about trademarks, we're talking about trademarks in Nigeria with Ann Jimanzi and Zibby just before we went on a break. And now we're returning to another story about trademark feuds. And this time it's family members. Brother rising against brother. This is a sign of the end times.
All right.
Wow.
Although, Ken and Abel, from the beginning.
That is true.
From the beginning.
Wow. Okay, so the Isley brothers, Rudolph Isley is suing his brother Ronald Isley for cutting him out of the Isley brothers trademark. And you know the Isley brothers, they've been very successful for decades.
Yeah.
They've worked together, but apparently now they're fighting together as well. Trademark, a name. What's in a name?
Business. Money. That's just what's happening here, you know. Everybody's like, I should get this, and you are ripping me, like, to quote the philosopher Portable. Once that, you know, he had this interview where he was where he had this song. I don't know if anybody saw that thing. Where he was an interviewer was asking him that, they always say he's always fighting online. Why is he always fighting online? And then he asked the guy that, has he ever been ripped before? And then the guy is like, yes, a couple of times. What did you do when you were ripped? And then he was like, he had to let the thing go. And I said, as then they rip you, they go make them just they rip you, they go. You know, I know. I mean, so that is why I'm power. Anyway, you should listen. You should find it online. Yeah, it's very funny. So I think that's the thing here. People are like, you know what? I don't want to be ripped if this is my right. But I think this particular case, actually, I think Ronald is just being quite mean. I think part of the problem is because he's the one who has been, I guess, kind of like the face of the face
of it. Yeah.
That's why he's like, but 100% is too much, guy. I think that's seriously unfair. Although, to be honest, I can't tell what Rudolph looks like. So there's something.
Rudolph is always the guy that wears the glasses and his hair in a ponytail, and he plays the guitar.
Yeah, you see that
cute one.
The cute one, really?
Yeah.
I thought Ronaldo's
Ronald is a bit sleazy looking, to be honest.
Yes, you are not wrong. And that's why Rudolph should have known his brother is just a thief, right? Because he actually has that look of, I'm going to cheat you if I have the chance.
Right.
To be honest. So, but yeah, I wonder what will happen, frankly. Yeah, because it looks like this one might be complicated because it's not like the other brothers started as two.
Right.
I think there were like three of them.
On Instagram, and catch Oris on Twitter, and then collectively we have a YouTube platform where we sort of chit chat about a lot of stories that we also talk on the grapevine. So
and Zibby is not there to kick us out.
It's the James and Oris show, and it's very simple. The James and Oris show on YouTube.
All right, the James and Oris show. All right, thank you, the James and Oris show, for coming through on the grapevine.
That's what we do.
Just stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.